talking about?
Our science careers project. We had this huge project.
Oh yeah, I got 68 in science.
I got a 68 too.
Our class average was 54.
That's awesome.
So I was like way above
I'm
average.
so
I had just turned 7, I
Are
think.
you taking a
I didn't know at all about Shakespeare or anything like that before I came to grade 2.
If as you say he comes tonight, he will not see the morning light. I like the plays that he writes. I like them all. I can't even decide which one I like the best. I just like them all.
It was just this whole other world. It was amazing. It was like so different. It was alien to us, but she taught it so well.
Song from the universe, thunder and rain. A poet of ages did sing. Schemers, dreamers, broken hearts too. Poet of ages come sing. So near your midsummer song to me, over on tempest and leer. Through a night sky of stories, cross an ocean of words. Poet of ages come near.
7 years separate us from now and then. 7 years. As early learners, we journeyed to an Elizabethan world, a place and story of love and hate, reason and fate, to be or not to be. Landing on this stranger shore, the world's greatest storyteller was there to meet us.
I think we all had crystal clear knowledge of what was happening in the stories, which was sort of cool because we were only in grade 2 and 3.
And in Macbeth, he taught us you don't have to listen to someone like Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth kind of forced him into it. You don't have to listen just because she's your wife, and just because you don't want to disappoint her. You should do what your mind tells you to do.
The world of William Shakespeare became our playground. Language, a shooting star. Together we sailed that night sky. We dreamed as Romeo or Hamlet, the bishop and... Well, I could be Juliet, wear a royal crown, or in an instant be one of witches 3. We were everyday kids in an unknown land, and an enthusiastic teacher, mentor, guide, steered us to a place of believing. And we learned what it meant to believe in ourselves.
When I first started, there was, I guess, a bit of shock, and now I think they would be disappointed if we didn't study a Shakespearean play.
All is fear, and nothing is the love, and little is the wisdom which goes against all.
My grade 2 classroom, Hamlet Public School, Stratford, Ontario, Canada. I was 7 years old when my mother first brought me here. I had few expectations or opinions of my own. At 7, every day is new. The 190 days of the school term spent in that room helped me to express myself and to communicate ideas, but most of all, within those 4 walls, I learned to trust imagination, to know that the dreams of 1,000 years can be the dreams of now.
She doesn't want this guy. It's been said.
I don't think anyone expected the adventure that would unfold the day our teacher decided we should search out the story of our town.
And what does he play? I only knew Stratford really from coming here in high school to see a festival play, and of course I knew it was important for Shakespeare, but that's about all I knew. And then when I came to Hamlet, I was really surprised to find all of the schools were named after Shakespearean characters. There's King Lear, there's Romeo and Juliet, and so I asked the kids, well, why is our school called Hamlet? And what has Shakespeare to do with Stratford?
Away, Tybalt! Away! No, 'tis not so deep as a well, not so wide as a church door, but 'tis...
Ties to Shakespeare are many in our city. Hundreds of artists create the magic of the stage at our Stratford Festival. Something that came about at an unsettling time. We were once a railroad center where the shops, as they were called, were alive with mechanical genius. When the steam locomotive disappeared in the 1950s, so did our future. Disappeared, that is, until the vision of Tom Patterson. Tom grew up here, worked for the local newspaper, and was convinced that a Shakespearean theater would draw people from all over. He convinced others, and it worked. It was actually back in the 1800s when surveyors for the first road named our river the Avon that the trend began. Evidence is everywhere, but when Mrs. Burdett asked us who Will Shakespeare was,
I just thought he was just a regular old writer that was probably still alive now.
I thought he'd be around in his mid-20s. I thought Shakespeare was a famous singer.
I didn't know a thing, not one thing.
I thought he was someone who lived in this time, and like he was gonna come and visit us sometime.
I took Shakespeare through high school, and I can't say that I loved it. I remember deciphering long passages and studying for exams, and it wasn't until I got to about grade 13 when I really loved it. I had this wonderful English teacher, and he brought us to Stratford, and we actually saw a performance of Macbeth, and everything came alive. It was so wonderful.
on a day that was just like today. That's when he first came alive for us. Our teacher began at the beginning, and in an instant we were captured in time and place with the man who wrote stories. He told about events and subjects that audiences loved. He wrote in the language of Elizabethan times. As for Mrs. Burdett, well, she put together a book of his life and rewrote his stories in a language that we understood.
I really didn't have any intention of teaching it. Certainly not to 7- and 8-year-olds, but it was this excitement that they had on making this connection between an historical figure and the name of their school that really led me to continue.
Excited, yes. But as grade 2 students, we had only a developing vocabulary with limited expression. Yet, the more we explored Shakespeare's garden, the more we advanced. New ideas emerged. At last, we began to think in the make-believe, to be like Shakespeare's characters who could do anything. Something was going on.
We all didn't really realize that writing wasn't just saying, we did this, we did that, that there was poetry behind it as well. And I think that was a lot of one of the first things that we learned in this class. And I thought that was so cool, I remember.
We moved to another world. We were spurred on with stories and imagination. Will Shakespeare became a friend, a teacher with a whisper as loud as thunder.
Together. One fine day, Anne had a baby. William, I have a baby here. Okay, can you find an N for Donald Bean? Oh, thank you very much.
What they do in the whole process, they pretend they're characters writing to each other. They pretend they are Shakespeare writing to Anne Hathaway, and when the Globe Theatre burns down, and they put all their emotions and feelings into that.
Mrs. Burdett used to read us things from the actual play, and then she would read us kind of revised versions.
She'd read us books and stuff, and then she'd change the words so they make sense to us. And then she'd explain how these words fit into the context.
And then we'd act it out. She'd pick people from the class to come out, and she'd tell us what lines we were supposed to say.
And then she would say, all right, now these are the characters, and I want you to go and write a diary entry or a letter from this person to this person about what they would say after this has just happened.
We'd write as Macbeth, saying what he'd done that day and how he'd killed Duncan.
And it made a big difference when we went to go write then, because we'd actually being those characters already.
In this one, I'm pretending I'm Macbeth after he has killed King Duncan. The deed is done, but oh, it leaves me in terror. I will never see the sweet face of King Duncan again. This is not what I bargained for. My mind will never rest.
And so Surrender Aguchi might write a challenge, or they might write a love letter from Demetrius to Helena, and their writing skills just explode. And then you introduce the beautiful Shakespearean language.
Sometimes I think she read some of the actual stuff that Shakespeare had written, and then she'd go back and explain it to us. When we were performing our plays, we had to talk, like in the Shakespearean sort of language, and she'd say what it meant, and so we knew why we were saying it. We weren't just saying a whole bunch of gibberish.
Like, she'd teach us simple words that were commonly used, like thou. Thou was basically you.
To us, that's how we talk, but to people back then, that was how they talked. And you have to remember, and you have to try and go through the words. You have to think them through and try and decide what it is they're trying to say. And once you know that, it just comes out.
Oh, dearest love, pale like snow, blood no there I was, sitting on a rock. A shooting star came down. My heart began to flutter like a baby bird on its first flight. All my mind, for I had heard the most peculiar music. Too much for me. This nightmare cannot be expressed in words. Never be awakened. He is in everlasting sleep. There is no way to free myself now. It is unchangeable.
Words shone like stars in the heavens. They danced in the northern lights. Words were the seas we sailed on, the kite held tight from November Hill. Then it became clear. Language was the secret of will.
He got me thinking about writing plays when I grow up, and it gets me more thinking about what I should say before I write it down. Like before, I liked stories. I plain old liked them. But now, I'm really getting into them, and I love writing my own.
Because you get to put your self into other people's shoes.
Then when I heard about William Shakespeare, he kind of influenced me in writing. And I know reading helps you get better at writing. I'm not that neat at writing, but I get good ideas, and I write a lot each day. One day I wrote 5 pages.
I can remember sitting there writing various letters, one about Macbeth, and I know I wrote something about a dagger, and Mrs. Burdett would come over and look over my shoulder and then tell me to keep going, and I'd write. And I can remember who was sitting beside me. Her name was Annika. I'd always try to write more than her. I don't know why, but just to see who could write the most and who could write the best.
All of us, I think, can write better because of that, because we always wrote. We always could picture ourselves as those people.
Once you start thinking and learning about Shakespeare, the language gets easier and easier, and then all of a sudden, you're an old pro.
I'm gonna swing, and she's gonna jump back, okay? Jump! Oh! I just missed her.
Everyday learning became an adventure when Shakespeare moved in.
Tell me, what have you learned about rosemary?
They eat it a lot in Italy. It was used for white wine. It was also medicine. It was a seasoning. The bride would wear it in her hair.
Katie, how would you like to wear this in your hair when you get married? Would you like to wear that in your hair?
Yeah.
What do you think, Ellen?
Big yes. It's a little in spaghetti sauce.
We pretend that they're going to be detectives, and we go back 400 years, and so they start to research about Elizabethan times. in science, they plant herbs. They research what the uses of the herbs were, and then we plant a little Elizabethan garden. In geography, they look at maps, and they pretend they are William Shakespeare trying to take Anne Hathaway out on a date. They look at maps of London and see how far London is actually from Stratford. In the math area, they use their adding skills to actually order tickets at the theater. And their self-confidence just becomes amazing. One little girl, she got so interested in why a thatched roof didn't leak, and she ended up phoning a local builder, and it was the whole process that was important, not the answer, but the whole process of learning. Shakespeare is not an end in itself, but a means to an end. And so then after they've really understood the idea of Shakespeare and the person, then they become involved in the actual play.
Lovers love the spring.
Wow, that was wonderful.
On a day that was just like today, but many years ago, a boy was born in England, whom we think you all should know. This lad grew up.
As our grade 2 class advanced, we got more and more into the Shakespeare story. We brought life to our drawings and writing by performing our own sketches.
Could fill up many days. It was at night that I heard it, the sound I had been waiting for. A new baby, my very own. Then a name shot into my head. William Shakespeare! We had a big celebration.
Ah, how we devoured the characters that had set us free.
I have a splitting headache. William just won't go to sleep. I sang him a lullaby, but he just screamed all the louder. I forgot how hard it was having a baby. I wonder what he'll be when he grows up. A writer? A sailor? Oh, never mind. I'm going to bed. I am so excited. I think I will explode. Today, the Queen's players are coming to town. Dad says if I'm good, I can come too. I put on my best clothes and waited by the window. Finally, I could hear the sound of the trumpets. The drums are rolling, and I could see the wagons in the distance. All the citizens of Stratford were clapping and cheering.
Soon, an added extra would propel our Shakespeare beyond Hamlet Public School. If the Festival Theatre was so near at hand, we figured, well, why not make it part of our project?
Funny thing how that happened. I woke up in the middle of the night and I just thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to pair these kids up with backstage crew members? And then I thought, Bard's buddies.
A bard is another word for Shakespeare, and there are buddies, so it's called Bard's Buddies.
So there was one with a stage manager, one with lighting, one with sound, and they actually write to them. And again, writing took on new meaning. These weren't empty assignments.
So that's a really
They were writing to real people, so the quality of their work improved, and the length, I mean, they just wrote reams and reams, and it was very exciting when they actually first met up.
Do you want help?
Theater artists and actors alike were immediately added to our pen pal list.
And there's the staircase, there's the big railing, and it's all in miniature scale.
Can you grab that lace? Just place it on your forehead, right against your forehead like that. And if you can keep that tight, I'm just going to connect the mask and the wig.
Look down, too.
Whoa.
I can see the edge of the stage from here.
So can I.
I sure wouldn't want to fall, though.
Nope.
Have you got my book okay? That's what a stage manager needs. Okay, let's take it downstairs and see what the booth looks like now.
She finds out that her husband doesn't want to kill King Duncan.
So did you come to see a play in here this year?
Oh, yes, I did. It was
I remember this as the moment that pushed my self-confidence over the top.
Up from the roof.
Yeah.
Would you like me to do a couple roles for Macbeth?
Do you have a role in Macbeth that you're doing?
Yes, the doctor and one of the ghost kings. My husband must call on his courage. If he wants his desire to be king, he has to do what a man does to become a king. Fight for it, but not this way. This way is a murder.
That's excellent, Katie. Excellent. Someday you'll be performing on this stage, I bet.
Dear William Shakespeare, me and my ladies-in-waiting would like to invite you to do 2 plays for me at my palace. Please pick 2 of your very best.
But William still...
The guiding hand of Will Shakespeare gently revealed life's moments.
18, when a pretty girl and Hathaway arrived upon the scene.
Dear Annie, would you like to go on a date with me? If you would, I'd be very flattered. I've always had a crush on you. I just love your eyelashes and your lips. Ah, they're as beautiful as the leaves in the fall.
Yes, I will go out with you. All I need is time with you. Your eyes glitter like stars. Your dazzling clothes are magnificent. We could have a great future. We'll have lots of children.
Shakespeare,
William
but
Shakespeare.
he did a lot of plays now. And he didn't have all that much of time because he had kids, he had his theater to think about, he had the actors. And you would think that took a lot of time, but he some way fitted into his day.
I'm sure the saddest part would be when Hamlet dies, and he was only 11. Just. And one of his happy parts, I'd say, would be when he made the Globe Theatre.
Although the bard's life now is but an echo from the past, his words are with us still today and will forever last. Gale Express, now boarding for Hamlet School. All aboard!
Wow! The day the theater came to grade 2, performers, artisans, directors, musicians. Even festival founder Tom Patterson graciously took up our invitation to come see us perform A Child's Portrait of Shakespeare.
It's almost like it's forbidden territory, and you're not supposed to have fun with it.
We ask Mr. Manette and our Queen Elizabeth to come forth and cut the ribbon.
Here we go. Bravo! Would you want to help me do it? Very good.
Maybe it's because that's the way we were taught. But with the children, they don't have any preconceived notions that Shakespeare is going to be hard or difficult. When I tell the kids a story of a Shakespearean play and I put it in simplified language, they love it. The response is immediate. They love the intrigue, the comedy, the suspense, and the romance of it all. You see it a whole different perspective when you see it through the eyes of children.
Before we begin, we ask Matt Dowdy to stand and take a bow. He is taking over for Jonathan, who is home with the chicken pox.
audience, I was like, oh no, I'm going to be so scared. I went out, and it was just like a regular day. I had a wonderful time. Just did what I had been taught, and before I knew it, my scene was over.
Doing the plays, it was stage fright. I was like, I'm going on stage, I'm going to say a line. If I mess up, everyone's going to hear. And slowly I just got to like, oh yeah, all these people have come to see me. And
once you start performing, it's like a swift of air just taking you away. I'm always in my mind saying our play, always. I named some of my stuffed toys and kind of in my head make out parts for them, but they're the plays, and I act them out into it.
In the child's portrait of Shakespeare, I can remember all my lines because I had one line that I kept on saying and I had to say it loud.
I've seen a really big difference in their self-confidence. The one little boy who's actually playing the bishop was a very shy little boy at the beginning of the year, and he just belts out his lines now. Some of the parents who would never go into the theater or would never take their families to the theater are now buying tickets. This one fellow, he came to the theater because his child got him so excited. And he made the comment when we were walking in was, I can't believe I am actually here watching this play. And then as he was leaving, I noticed over at the box office he was buying tickets for his whole family.
Call for George! George of Merry England, to save our country from the dragon! I'm here to save the country!
In a way, I felt kind of scared because it was going to be my first time doing it in front of real actors, and you know how good they are. Like, I was wondering if they'd like ours or if they'd throw tomatoes or something.
This one little girl, she was presenting the play Midsummer Night's Dream. I just overheard this one little girl say, isn't it wonderful to be famous? They do. They feel really proud of their own abilities, and they'll write little comments in their books. The crossing guard asked for my autograph and things like that, and it makes them really proud.
If only he could be here now, and he could see what he's been doing to us. He'd be so happy.
Bards, buddies, our performance, the pen pals. Gosh, when I think back, the school year was like a play with each act unsurpassed. The best was yet to come.
Sierra, my son, your father is dead, and what will you do now? How will you live? As the birds do, mother. What, with worms and flies? With what I get, I mean, and so do they. Poor bird, thou never fears the net, nor lime, the pitfall, nor the gin. Why should I, mother? Poor birds aren't set for.
We have a story from long ago, a tale of misery, heartache.
They can do things to a far greater extent than we give them credit. For example, my kids this year, they came in wanting to do Macbeth. And I said, I don't know if we can do a tragedy. It was the kids that, they said, of course we can do a tragedy. And they did, and it's been one of the highlights of my career.
It shows how sometimes arrogance can affect people's judgment, and showed how sometimes there can be a whole ton of things people don't understand about each other.
Our play is glutted with hatred and greed, and has a moral we all should heed. So
Shakespeare's quite interesting because in his plays he doesn't put blah 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 at the end. He puts motion. Well, at home I write a little bit of Macbeth, like some of the words that they use, but in kind of my own words a little. Like when Macbeth doth come, I say, here comes Macbeth. When shall we three meet again in thunder, lightning, or in rain? It's one of my favorite lines. Sophie, I know the rest. The rest is when the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won. This is a matter of life and death, and there we shall meet Macbeth. There is foul, and foul is there. Crimes in the fog and fills the air. Then they raise their fists, their eyes ablaze, and vanish into the gloomy. I like where Macbeth says, false face must hide what false heart doth know. And I like that because he has to sort of lie a bit. He lies to people and he doesn't show what he really thinks on his face. He hides it, but his heart really knows what he's thinking.
We had that language, we knew all those big words and we knew what they meant and we could talk in Shakespearean ways, and that's just the way we thought all the time, and some people don't have that big vocabulary that we had at 7 years old.
I think the best character I know in Macbeth was Lady Macbeth. And I remember Annika performing that when we were 7. And she did a really good job of it. Lady Macbeth is a kind of psychotic character.
Your face is like a book, my lord. You must hide your feelings, she implored. If, as you say, he comes tonight, he will not see the morning light. I'll arrange it all, I guarantee. Look after your guest. Leave the rest to me.
I liked him because he was a bad guy, like, you know, a stereotypical bad guy. So I thought that was cool because I've never done that before. And he was kind of insane, so to speak. He was a very twisted character, and I thought that was very unique. And I liked being an insane guy.
On Macbeth, it tells you bad doesn't pay. Like, he was very bad. He began to get badder and badder, so it seemed that he died. And he deserved dying from killing all these other people.
He wanted to be king since the witches told him that he would. And so he went and he killed Duncan. And then he kept on getting eviler and more.
There's morals in them, like Macbeth, that says if you be mean to others, then they'll be mean to you.
If you go up, way up to the top of evilness, you cannot come down. It's very, very hard.
Macbeth got killed just because no one trusted him anymore. Even the people who were on his side weren't really on his side, because they were forced to do this because he was the king. But Macbeth was brave, and he risked his life to go and help his country. And he risked his family's life.
Your castle was surprised. He solemnly said, your family's been murdered. They are all dead. And down his cheek there rolled a tear. Did you say, oh, my spirits droop, oh, my pretty chickens, in one fell swoop? That tyrant must have a heart of stone. Such sorrow I have never known. And he rose in fury. He'll die by my sword. I'll get my revenge to Scotland, my lord.
Well, first of all, it is a historical thing, and the history is very important because we have no roots without our history. It's also, I personally believe, fun and interesting, and it can teach you a lot too.
Romeo and Juliet's a good example. It's like two different racial groups, the Montagues and the Capulets, that are arguing with each other. And it's like two racist groups from different cultures that are against each other, and in the end it shows we're all the same.
The state of Utah, USA, a replica Elizabethan stage like in Shakespeare's time. This was almost beyond belief, but there we were.
Hail, Thane of Cawdor! I thank you, gentlemen. The supernatural Solicitor cannot be ill.
Stephen, are we forgetting anything?
Yes, your costume.
That's right.
Gotta get that
Point.
school.
Our grade 2 play, Macbeth, had captured the interest of the Utah Shakespearean Festival when they visited Stratford. They invited us to perform. By May of the school year, our bags packed, we were there.
Okay, let's go.
Wow, this was so exciting. It seemed like all of Cedar City turned out to welcome us. It was our happiest time.
Above the clouds I see a stream. It takes our breath away. Going to Utah. What a sight to see. What a sight to see.
Connected to Southern Utah University, this popular festival started a few years after our Stratford Festival. We felt like we were part of everything going on, taking every opportunity to meet with grown-up actors or watching them perform.
Pink and pine, though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I have. Show me, show me. It's the wayward sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus to roam about, thrice to land, thrice to mine, to make up nine.
When was your first, when did you start with Shakespeare? Can you tell me about that when you're...
Well, I started last year and I wasn't so interested. I just, but then the first few days we'd memorize a bit every day, and I started to like it more and more. And by the end of the year, I loved it.
What do you like about it? What's your favorite thing about it?
Well, I like his stories because some stories they just get really boring, but his stories they have a magical feeling. They just take you by the hand and pull you into one of the characters' bodies.
This castle has a pleasant seat. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Tell us what the...
Have you ever played Lady Macbeth before?
No, I haven't. This is my first Lady Macbeth, and I'm really kind of happy. This is Robert's first Mr. Macbeth, so neither one of us has the advantage there. We both sort of came into it really open.
Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. They're welcome in your eye. Your hand.
In this play, Macbeth, you have to kiss Lady Macbeth.
Nope.
You don't kiss Lady Macbeth? When you greet her and you say, my dearest love, you don't come up and kiss her? Oh, you avoided that, huh? Smart boy, smart boy. Well, I actually get a chance to kiss my Lady Macbeth, but I was wondering how you would feel about having to kiss your classmate there, if you have any trepidation or not.
Good morning.
Later that week came our moment. Our turn to perform. Talk about butterflies. The jitters, we had them all as we pulled ourselves together. Us, about to go out in front of what felt like millions. Us, 1,000,000 miles from home.
We have a story from long ago, a tale of misery, heartache, and woe.
Plays sort of became a part of me. I think of them all the time. Like I try to guess what some of the plays are about. It gets me thinking about how we got those ideas, how we got them into his mind.
By at the end of that year, we could go to a Shakespeare play and understand it completely, and that's something that many kids even now can't do at our age.
Macbeth couldn't stand it anymore. He rose from the table and rushed out the door.
There is no reason to do this deed. Just vaulting ambition, power, and greed.
His plays make me feel as though it was all really happening and that Shakespeare was alive and so was everyone in the play.
Back in the beginning of the year, I thought Shakespeare didn't write plays, he didn't do anything, he just had boring stuff. But then he changed me into thinking that he's the best writing play person in the world.
I would teach Shakespeare wherever I went now. I don't think that having a professional theater is a prerequisite for success. First of all, the main resource is Shakespeare's plays. They're wonderful stories, and the most important resource of all are the kids and their imaginations.
Macduff is fled to England, they say. Macbeth was enraged.
No more delay. Macduff has sealed his family's demise. We'll take his castle by surprise and order the death of his whole crew.
I love drama. It's so fun. You get to interact. You get to be someone else. You don't have to be yourself. You can completely change your character. You can be this complete mean guy or just completely angry and just go nuts on somebody, and then a few minutes later say, hey, how you doing? And go get some coffee or something, and it's just fun.
One little girl one day, she wrote in her journal, I think Shakespeare had a brain from God. His brain was as smart as life and is for always.
I'd like to give Shakespeare a big hug.
And tell him what?
I'd like to congratulate him on how good his plays are. And the reason I'd like to give him a big hug is because we've studied him for so long, he's became like a real friend now.
Mm-hmm.
There is Gallo, and Gallo is there.
I've read constantly since I was in grade 2, and we were read to so much, and because we wrote as much as we read, it was just like second nature, sort of. It's something that you want to do all the time.
Ross held up his hand. You're the greatest warrior in all our land, and Theta Cawdor, you moved up the ranks.
Shakespeare was a very important person. His plays were very well written, and the sense of beauty that he put into his acting and stuff. He could express modern, social issues through the arts.
Her eyes were open, yet she was asleep. Will these hands never be clean? She rubbed them together in dismay. Yet here's a spot. Out, I say.
When
I look at the group of people that have been in her class, we are the people who, in a class, will volunteer to read our work out loud to the class, and we love to write poetry and going outside the box and trying new things. So I think all of us came away with that we can do anything, and it doesn't matter what other people think.
When it came to the end, Macbeth died without a single friend.
I've had a few letters that I've always treasured, and they just sort of appear on your desk the last day of school. And this one, I think, really shows how much Shakespeare touched them. And she was 7 when she wrote it. And this is what she wrote. Dear Mrs. Burdett, I will never be able to thank you enough for bringing Shakespeare into my world. I shall forever keep him in my memory to treasure for the rest of my days. It shall be as precious as a newborn baby.
He shall always be there to comfort me in sadness and to make me happier in happiness. He is part of me now and will never be removed. Our story, the adventure of one small grade 2 class in a big world of unending dreams. Thank you, William Shakespeare.
A song from the universe, thunder and rain. A poet of ages did sing of schemers, dreamers, broken hearts too. Poet of ages come sing. So near your midsummer song to me, over on tempest and clear. Through a night sky of stories, cross an ocean of words. Poet of ages, come here. Song from the universe, thunder and rain. Poet of ages did sing of schemers and dreamers, broken hearts too. Poet of ages, come sing. Poet of ages, come sing.
You're not the first you're getting. Yeah, they're 2 years younger than you. Next year, they're in grade 10. She is in 7-8. I said you are in 7-8.